Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist and welcome. And there are a lot of birds outside. So Rogue doesn't think they're allowed to be in the yard or to even make sound. So this week I did a lot of things that had nothing to do with cross stitch. They have to do with what I do, but I cut out the pieces for 4 of my larger project bags, like the one with the citrus, and of course the lemon one that I was going to do. And I also cut out a sea turtle. I just love sea turtles. Well, I've never seen one in person. I see them floating around in aquariums, you know, but when I see pictures and stuff. And this one, the sea turtles, I have 2 pieces of fabric here and I don't want to drop one. The sea turtles go all different directions on this one. And this is just the back side, the other pieces for those. So I cut those out. But I didn't have time to cut out the interfacing or sew them together, you know, and I wanted to cut out the other size too, like the last lemon bag that I made. So I'll just sew those up and then see where it goes. But besides that, I made a lot of scissor fobs. These were sold out on our Etsy shop for a while, and I bought the stuff to make them again, and then never did. And I said, well, that's silly. And I went ahead and made those. And the reason I did was I wanted some charms for the citrus bag, and I thought, I wonder if there's charms that are just various citrus. And this one is limes and grapefruit and oranges and lemons, and also watermelons and strawberries and cucumber. And I should have a picture to show you here. And when I was searching that, I found some large patriotic beads, and so I also looked for some larger patriotic charms. And the larger patriotic charms picture, I didn't bring the bag over here of the beads, but here's a picture of those. And this is the one that I made with the patriotic beads. On the back it says Land of the Free because of the brave, and this one is actually sold already, but I bought another one of these type of flags. I couldn't find any more of those United States ones. I might just not have seen them. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and there are a lot of charms at Hobby Lobby, so I may have just missed them. I don't think so, but I may have. But I bought another one, so I can remake that. I'll show you the rest of the haul in a little bit. I had sat down to do scissor charms because of those USA beads that I found. And then I also made, remember the 3 aliens there? I found some iridescent beads to put with it. And while I was looking for stuff to do that, with those patriotic charms, it came with a whole bunch of smaller ones plus a couple of larger ones that I had wanted. And the smaller ones were like this. And here's a picture of those. Because, yeah, I can't hold them up, all of them. The odd thing is, in the patriotic charms, there was charms of California. Not all the states, just California. I don't know how that's patriotic. I mean, you know, it might be to Californians. But anyway, so I had these charms for family of Armed Forces members. And this one says, can you see it? No, it turned around. Marine wife. And I tried to make the beads close to the colors of the service. This one says Navy wife, and it has a star. Oh, that's not wanting to show. With a flag on it. And the Air Force, the Navy one didn't have a Navy mom. I would like a Navy mom. Well, my son's not in the Navy anymore, but he was. I have a shirt that says Navy mom. Air Force, and I paired it with an eagle because, you know, they fly. And I did have a Marine mom, and it also has a flag with it. And then Army wife. And this is the same kind of star with a flag on it. It's just that bronzy color instead. And there's the beads. And while I was making those, I'm like, oh, I want to make this and I want to make that. And, you know, I was like, I buy all these beads and charms and then I don't stick them together. So I wanted to try to do that as quickly as possible. So there's the star. And this one says Mom, and it's Army. And this last one is just Military Mom. And I paired it with a heart. It has the flag thing on it. So I was very busy making all those, but I wanted to make, do you remember the larger green aliens that I had? I wanted to make some of those, but with different beads than what I had. So I will show you all of that soon. First, I want to talk about my cross stitch, which, because I was doing all of that, is not as much as I would like. First is the, that's enough, the Wizard Snowman, and here's a picture, and I'm working on Mary Ravenclaw. And I had some of it started. I didn't even remember that. But when I was going to get the pattern and stuff out, I was like, oh, I have it. Anyway, I put in this Krynic right up here. The blue was already there like this. I put in the Krynic. And then there's going to be backstitch to make it say Mary Ravenclaw. Now, this scarf is not finished, and that is with Krynic and the same blue that's up here. But I said, well, I'll just go ahead and finish this, and then I'll go on to here. Other than what I have here and a little bit more of the scarf, mostly what I need to do here is fill in the white on the snowman. And on the other two, I used it's not Krynic, it's a thin filament that's kind of shiny to help it stand out against this shiny background, because the white just kind of blended in. And you can see it because there's, you can see the snowman when you're done, because there's gray shadows and then it's backstitched around the snowman. So having it disappear into the background isn't really what it does, but it does, I think this, can you tell that it's sparkly? Yeah. I think this sparkle fabric really helps with the look of snow. And stitching the white part of it, if I thought I could do all the back stitching and then stitch the white in, that would be one thing, but of course I can't. So I will stitch in the white. It's just I have to have the right lighting and, you know, be in the right mindset. And the same is true of the Krynic. I don't think I had used the copper Krynic that I have for anything. That's what it's called for right here. And in his little wand, I don't remember if it comes out this way or goes out that way, probably this way. The tip of it is Krynic. The Krynic was so curly, I couldn't get it to just like not up and not lay flat. I mean, to lay flat, not up, and you know, and it was all curled, and it was very difficult to work with, and more so than usual. And so I was not having any fun, and I got to the end of that strand that I had cut, and I just went, okay, no more. My brain can only take so much Krynic. And the little bird needs to be finished. So other than that gray and the white snowman, this part is, you know, pretty much done. Anyway, that is my Whip Go Call, the second one for, what month are we in? June. Almost July, my God. The first one was Cross Stitching for Fun Art Deco Summer. Did I tell you that the Merry Snowman, the Wizard Snowman, sorry, was Cross Stitching for Fun? I may not have said so. And they have a Facebook group. I don't know if it's a group or a page. Anyway, that Wizard Snowman is free there. But they don't have an Etsy shop anymore. They have some other kind of shop because Etsy said, no, you're in Russia, so you can't have a shop. So they're not in Russia. One of them is Russian. One of them is I keep wanting to say Czech, but that's not the right country. The one that's at war with the Russians. And because the person, they work together, and because they're cousins or something, because the one that filled out the stuff for the Etsy shop is in Russia, they closed them down. So, and you know, I don't know if I've mentioned, but you know, those Etsy shops that were made by Russian people, of course we don't know their politics at all. But they're Russian people. They're not Russian government. And I understand everything about, you know, you know, their country invading another country and wanting to support the, I don't know why the name will not come to me, but wanting to support the other country. But it reminds me about how governmental politics can affect the lives adversely of their citizens, just in their views being unpopular. And I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I was at a luncheon with a lot of Star Trek actors. God, what is wrong with my brain? And at the time of this, there was some political nonsense going on between the U.S. and France. And I don't remember what it was. There wasn't any wars going on or anything, but there was a lot of rhetoric. And at the same time, in France, there was a lot of fires. And a lot of them were out in the boonies, you know, not in big cities or anything like that. And one of the actors, the actors were sitting at tables with all of us. And one of the actors that I was sitting with had been living in France. And the fires came out into conversation because, you know, it's in the news. And somebody at the table said, well, that's what they deserve. Their homes, their livelihood was being burned away. And he didn't say anything because, you know, he didn't feel like he was in a position to say anything, I guess. But I sure did. Like, that is a horrible thing to say. Nobody deserves to have their house burned down. Now, I've been following a lot of the, on Instagram, a lot of the people from, my brain just won't come up with the word, the state, the country. And I know the devastation. They can't find cat food for their pets. They can't find food for themselves. Their homes, their cities, you know, devastated. I understand. But I find it very difficult. Anyway, I had a teacher in college. She was from Germany, and it was a German class. And she had memories of World War II. She was a young girl. And, okay, I'm older, right? Sorry. And she had memories from it. And she said when the Russians came in and liberated them, they stole her sister, and she never saw her sister again. Her sister was taken to help build runways or something, and she never saw her sister again. So, you know, I know that Germany was the aggressor there, but the people were just people. Anyway, enough of that. I should show you what I've been cross-stitching instead of preaching, right? I finished the dragonfly, and I've got the butterfly almost all outlined. That's this section right here. I am so sorry that I went on and on about something that... So sorry. So I've almost got this butterfly with yellow, and this is just a lighter color that's in here. It's not white. The yellow butterfly has a lot fewer colors than the dragonfly did. So it went a little bit faster. And I didn't get as far as I would have liked, but, you know, it's not a race, and there's no, you know, date that I have to have this finished by, so I'm not gonna really stress about it. And yeah, so the other thing I worked on was my cross stitch camp piece. I had hoped to get this done by the end of June. Yeah, it's not going to happen. This is Robin, Cute Patterns by Maria Bravko, and she is in the same country, which I still can't remember. And this is how far I've gotten. I'm still working on red. Part of me wants to say, okay, what's the next color I can work on that's a different color? But putting in stitches is putting in stitches. It doesn't really matter what color it is. And I'm only about 25% done with this, so that's as far as I've gotten. But look at the detail in this. Look at that. I mean, it's a lot of colors and some blended colors. But, and then when I put in the back stitching on that, that's going to really pop out. The piece has a lot of back stitching on it. So, yeah. I still feel bad about being on my soapbox. I hope you'll forgive me. Okay, and this is Stars and Stripes by Stitching with the Housewives. I have no picture because this was a freebie that went along with another pattern. And yes, I'm not going to finish this before the end of the month, but I will keep plugging away at it. I remember when I was working on these two, I wanted them both done before Memorial Day or something, and I just didn't get it done until the next month. And, you know, that's all right. Look at, here we are another year, and 4th of July is coming again. So I'm not going to stress about it too much. And then the final cross stitch that I've done is the 2023 Temperature Sal Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. And we are starting to get into the red. Yes. Now, we did have some low 90s last week. But it's slated to be 105 today, I think. And it was about that yesterday. And I'm very hot. I'm in the living room, which does not get very much air conditioning. I had a blanket on in the other room, so, you know. But here we are. Pretty much all the same color. Yep. Now we're going to be getting into some of the colors for above 100. So far it only had like 3-4 days above 100. But it's going to start being above 100 every day. So, yeah. See, this right here are the only days that were above 100. So, anyway, I'm enjoying this. Seeing all the, keeping track of all the temperatures and the variations in temperatures. You know, when you live somewhere that's hot all the time in the summer, you think it's just hot. And you may pay a little bit of attention to the temperature, but you know, Phoenix has, you know, 2 seasons. Ridiculously hot and warm. So, yeah. I joke about in winter that, you know, I give my sweater or jacket a ride somewhere, because, you know, you think you might need it. You get out in the morning, it's a little chilly, and then it's not. Lots of kids around now lose their jackets and sweaters and stuff like that. Although I do keep a sweater in the car, even now. You go into Walmart, you know, and it's 50 degrees in the whole store. So I have it there in case I'm too cold for somewhere. Sometimes in the movie theaters, it's, you know, really cold. Anyway, we are almost done already. How did that happen? I feel like I did a lot and talked about a lot. Of course, a lot of it was just my preaching. So, sorry about all the crinkling. I was thinking about those larger beads, and you know, the one that I already made. I wanted to make another one, so I got the thing so I can make another one. And I had seen this before, and it kind of goes with my Armed Forces things, because it has a heart that says, "My heart belongs to a hero," and it has a little star and a yellow ribbon. So I thought those beads would be good for that. I got 2 of those. The price tag was half on and it stuck to the bag. So for the other alien stuff, I have a lot of iridescent beads like this, okay? And this one is for, I purchased it for another one that is out of stock, and I'm like, I have the charms, why am I not making that? So I got that, but I love that type, and I have a lot of beads that are similar. So I picked up these because I don't have them. And I thought, those are cool. And since those aliens are larger, that might work with that. And then these beads for that alien. I'm going to use a lot of the other ones too, the iridescent ones that I used on the, I think. I don't know. Until I, you know, put it together, I don't really know. I may not use those on the aliens. You know, until I start putting it together, I don't really know. You know, my sister, when she does scissor fobs, she plans it out, and she lays out everything, and she, you know, goes back and forth on a little board to figure out what she wants to do, and then she strings it. And I start with the charm, and I string that on and just put on beads, and if I don't like it, I pull it off and, you know, start again. So it takes me probably as long as it takes her to decide on a pattern I want. But we just have such a different way to do it. So anyway, I have reached the end of my things that I wanted to show you. I thank you for listening to me. If you went through and listened to me about my rant, and Um, I just, I don't know. I lived for a while in Belgium, and I remember a lot of the other military people that were there with us. They would say, "Oh, the Belgian people, they're so rude." And I'm like, "No, they're not. It's just you keep treating the country like yours. You know, I would be rude to you too." So maybe it's just something that gets under my skin sometimes. So I'm sorry for going on and on about it. Anyway, thank you. I hope you had a nice Father's Day, and I hope to see you back again. And happy stitching.